This is Dr. Allaire. Thanks for tuning in and watching this video. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the science teaching competencies, which is something that helps to guide the course that you're in, EED 3315, Elementary Science Methods. Along with helping you to feel more comfortable and confident with the idea of teaching science, showing you some great strategies and methods, activities and things to help you with teaching science from the EC-6, in the EC-6 grade levels. This course also helps to prepare you for the inevitable certification exam that you will have to take, particularly the science portion of the certification exam. And so in this video, what I'd like to do is I'd like to go over with you the 18 science teaching competencies, just talk briefly about them and how they're organized, show you some resources that are available to help you with getting a little bit more familiar with these competencies, but then also talk about the series of quizzes that we're going to be doing during the semester, again, to help you prepare for the certification exam. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and let's take a look at the competencies together. Now, what we're looking at together is a handout, a PDF that I've created. And so this PDF is full of information taken directly from the TEA website, in which it displays all 18 of the science teaching competencies, but then breaks them down into multiple sub-competencies. Now, we are not going to read through all of the sub-competencies together in this video. You're welcome to take a look at those on your own, and we'll also be exploring them as we get into some of our practice lessons during the semester. But we are going to go over the main 18 science teaching competencies. Now, you might be thinking, well, where can I find this resource? Okay, so this PDF, in which also has links to YouTube videos on a lot of these sub-competencies. So you'll see these hyperlinks scattered throughout. This can be found on the home page for our Canvas site related to this class. And so on the home page, just above where it says, "Welcome to EED 3315, that is where you will find a link to the PDF for this particular handout, EC-6 Science Teaching Competencies with YouTube links. And so let's get into this and take a look at these together. Now, these competencies are divided up by topic area. And so competencies 1 through 6 are kind of grouped together and make up what I like to refer to as PPR for science. So these competencies, again, competencies 1 through 6, focus a lot on the pedagogy and professional responsibility that we have as either science teachers or teachers who do science with their students. And so let's take a look at these 6 competencies together. Competency number 1 says, the teacher understands how to manage learning activities, tools, materials, equipment, and technologies to ensure the safety of all students. And you can see that it's divided into multiple sub-competencies here, A through G, which gets into some more details for this particular competency. Competency number 2 says the teacher understands the history and nature of science, the process and role of scientific inquiry, and the role of inquiry in science instruction. Competency number 3 says the teacher understands how science impacts the daily lives of students and interacts with and influences personal and societal decisions. Competency number 4 says the teacher knows and understands the unifying concepts and processes that are common to all sciences. Competency 5 says the teacher has theoretical and practical knowledge about teaching science and about how students learn science. And finally, competency number 6, the last competency in this particular section, says the teacher knows the varied and appropriate assessments and assessment practices for monitoring science learning in laboratory, field, and classroom settings. Now, once again, and I'm not going to go through each one of these, But once again, you can see that each of these 6 competencies is broken down into at least 4 or more sub-competencies. And what I've tried to do in this particular resource, and again, this resource can be found on our Canvas homepage, just above where it says, Welcome to EED 3315. What I've tried to do is create hyperlinks to as many YouTube videos as possible to cover some of the major ideas covered in these different science teaching competencies. But those are the first 6 competencies, which again make up what I like to call PPR for science. So these competencies are really referring to a lot of pedagogy and professional responsibility as far as science and science teaching is concerned. Now, competencies 7, 8, 9, and 10, the next 4 competencies, focus on physical science. This is your physics and your chemistry. So starting with competency number 7, you'll see that competency 7 says the teacher understands forces and motion and their relationships. Competency number 8 says the teacher understands the physical and chemical properties of and changes in matter. Competency 9 says the teacher understands energy and interactions between matter and energy. And finally, competency number 10, the last competency for this section, says the teacher understands energy transformations and the conservation of matter and energy. Once again, you'll notice that each of these 4 competencies that make up the physical science competencies is divided into 3 or more sub-competencies. And you'll see that there are lots of great links here to YouTube videos that cover some different aspects of these various competencies and sub-competencies. The next 4 competencies, numbers 11, 12, 13, and 14, are the life science competencies. So competency 11 says the teacher understands the structure and function of living things. Competency 12 says the teacher understands reproduction and the mechanisms of heredity. Competency 13 says the teacher understands adaptations of organisms and the theory of evolution. Competency 14 says the teacher understands the relationships between organisms and the environment. Again, you will see all of these are divided up into sub-competencies. So these are important to take a look at, as these are subject areas and concepts that you will be expected to know for the certification exam. Last but not least, as far as all the sections go, the last 4 competencies, 15, 16, 17, and 18, are earth and space science competencies. So competency 15 says the teacher understands the structure and function of Earth systems. Competency 16 says the teacher understands cycles in Earth systems. Competency 17 says the teacher understands the role of energy in weather and climate. And last but certainly not least, competency 18 says the teacher understands the characteristics of the solar system and the universe. Again, notice that all of these competencies are divided up into sub-competencies with YouTube links covering many of the topics for you to review or to learn about. And so again, this is in my opinion, a great resource, and I have a lot of students who have also found it to be very helpful. You can find that PDF, EC-6 Science Teaching Competencies, with YouTube links, again, on the home page for our Canvas site, just above where it says, Welcome to EED 3315. And this is a resource that I would suggest using throughout the semester, not only, of course, to prepare. The end game is to prepare for the certification exam. Okay, that's the end game here. But to help you with studying and preparing for that exam, there will be a series of quizzes that you will be required to take as part of this course. And these quizzes will be multiple choice. There will be 5 questions each, and the questions will be written in a style similar to what you will see on the certification exam. Each of these quizzes will focus on 2 competencies at a time. So the first quiz that you will be taking focuses, for instance, on competencies 1 and 2. The second quiz will be on competencies 3 and 4. and so on and so on and so on. And so there will be 9 quizzes in all throughout the semester. Again, 5 questions per quiz, which means that each quiz is worth 5 points, part of your grade. So if you do the math, that totals up to 45 points, which is quite a decent chunk of points for your final grade for this course. Those quizzes will open and close on Canvas as we go through the semester. You will have the entire week that a quiz is open to take that quiz. You will have multiple opportunities to take that quiz, because the goal here is not to play gotcha. The goal is to help you prepare for the core subjects exam, that certification exam, specifically the science portion. And so I want to help you eventually get to write. And so you will again have 9 quizzes throughout the semester, with each of the quizzes focusing on 2 competencies each. 5 questions per quiz, multiple choice, written in a style similar to what you'll see on the certification exam. In addition to those quizzes, each quiz will have an accompanying video by me, breaking down the questions and going over the answers, the answer choices, and why a particular answer is the correct answer. I hope that that will also help you with learning some of the science content that you may be missing. There may be some knowledge gaps as you are preparing for the certification exam. And obviously, if you have any questions about anything in any of the quizzes, you can always email me, you can message me, and you can bring your questions to class, and we'll take some time and we'll address them in class. But I hope you found this video to be helpful. I hope you find this resource to be helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me, message me, or talk to me in class. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.